Hi everyone, welcome to an episode of Izzy Does It. As you can see, it's just me here. This is the second time we're recording this because I got really nervous. So if you can sense me feeling a little bit awkward or me jumbling my words, forgive me. It's been a while. And I think the last episode I did solo was the last Q&A episode, which was recorded in between cycles. So yeah, I want to get used to this, and hopefully over time I'll get comfortable. Yeah, you can see I'm here at the UBD studio recording this. I'm literally alone, guys, outside here. So I hope the cameras are still rolling. Last week, I sent out a poll asking if anyone's interested to know what I've been up to since the last episode, which was the Ajis Dollar episode. And thankfully, a lot of you care and voted that yes, you would like to know what I've been up to since then. I also thought of asking you guys to submit questions because life update in general could be like a lot. A lot can happen in a year. With the questions, we can get down to the nitty-gritty, and I can also find out which part of my life you guys are interested to know about more. I would like to thank you guys for submitting your questions. I've compartmentalized them into three categories: podcast stuff, work stuff, and personal life stuff. And we're going to go through the podcast stuff first. Without further ado, let's get down to it. Is the collaboration in Yayasan part of your plan going forward with the platform or an opportunity that came out of the blue? So the collaboration with Yayasan, which was a documentary podcast called Usahawan Bakarih, it's a little bit of both. I've always wanted to produce a documentary podcast, but never got the chance to. And it does require a bit of budget, which we didn't have to. If you remember, Izzy Does It is not making any money. And something of that scale of a production would require a lot of resources. And then it just so happens that during the year break, I did a few videos with Yayasan. If you go to my media production company punya Instagram, Tiala Studio, or if you go to my personal Instagram, _, you'll see that I've produced a Hari Raya video for them last year, which involved the royal family. So that was a really cool experience. We got to film the Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Malik, and His Royal Highness Prince Matin. And from there on, that's how I established a relationship with Yayasan. And then for their 32nd anniversary, which was last October, they said, "Yo, Izzy, we want to do something with your podcast. We saw your episode with Ajis Dola. Ajis Dola was also a participant of their program Saradiri. They wanted to feature more underprivileged entrepreneurs." So I was like, hold up. It's something that I've always wanted to do. So without hesitation, I said yes. Initially, they wanted to produce more episodes, but I think they're gonna wait for like a monumental period, maybe, because 32nd anniversary is like just another anniversary, right? So maybe 40th anniversary, I don't know. There was a lot of back and forth. We brainstormed what kind of like documentary we wanted to produce, but for sure they wanted to raise awareness on what Yayasan Sultan Haji Hassan al Bolkiah is doing, because I think like most people, before I start working with Yayasan, I didn't know that they are a proper organization. I just thought Yayasan was the mall at Bandar, right? But it turns out they do so much more, and especially in giving back to the community. And in this case, giving back to, or giving opportunities to the underprivileged and the unfortunate, especially people who are in poverty. Which is why, like, when they approached me to do this documentary, I was so honored, and I made it into my personal mission to make this Usahawan's stories justice. It's always been a passion of mine to share stories that not a lot of people know. Sometimes we can be out of touch because a lot of us are privileged, and we sometimes forget that there are people who struggle day to day trying to make ends meet, and then people who have commitments and they have to start from zero. I think we've become so comfortable and we forget that these people exist. I was so happy and honored that Yayasan entrusted me with that project. My hope going forward is that it could be a stepping stone for Izzy Does It as well, to produce more documentaries or episodes like that. I'm also hoping that Usahawan Bakarih documentary could be a blueprint for other companies to see that they can also do something like this. Sometimes I do get approached by companies, but it's more like hard promotion in the things that they do, the products and services that they offer. And I'm not against it completely, but audiences now, they're very smart. Once they click play and they know and they expect that we're only going to be talking about the company, they're not interested. What people want to hear more are stories, like real stories. Because when people believe or empathize with someone, they will care about that person's business. And in that case, I hope I managed to do that with the Usahawans that were featured in the documentary. I guess it will take a little bit of time for companies to understand that. Honestly, I've turned down a lot of companies who approached me and they say like, oh, they want Izzy Does It to interview one of their staff members. I think there are other outlets that can do that. I don't think Izzy Does It's main offering is like hard promotions. I think we're more towards intentional storytelling and bringing value to our listeners, because the Cozy Gang and people who listen to Izzy Does It, I think they understand what we are trying to do. I mean, it's not sob stories all the time. I do want to have entertaining episodes too, but it's very important for me at the end of the day to bring value to listeners so that, I mean, come on, long hour episodes, right? It can't be all about like the company's agendas and stuff like that. It has to have certain meaning to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's where I'm at with the whole Easy Does It platform. Okay, that was a very long explanation. Next question. Are you still with your original crew, or do you have additions to the crew or replacements? All right, as you can see, I pointed out that this is a very different studio than what you're used to seeing in our previous episodes. I'm now at the UBD studio, and this is all thanks to Izzy Does It's co-producer, which is Shafi Halim's New Wave Films. The both of us have gone into partnership with Kitani Creative as well. So it's a trio collab. So it's Izzy Does It, Shafi Halim's New Wave Films, and Kitani Creative, which is co-founded by Akila Ali. If you remember Akila Ali, she helped produce some of Izzy Does It episodes. I think mainly the Izzy's Day Out episode where I went around Bandar and talked to like several people. She helped produce that episode. Hopefully that answers the question. I think I will elaborate more as we go, because there are a lot of questions about the podcast. Okay. Next one. What was the turning point, or what was your realization as to why you started Izzy Does It podcast? I've shared this story before, but I'll repeat it in summary. It all started when I started creating content on TikTok during COVID. I did mostly commentaries, screenshotted Borneo Bulletin, Media Permata, The Scoop, Brunei Times, any headlines that they have. I think during that time, it was a lot about like, COVID related news. So what I did was I screenshotted and I discussed the headlines just in brief, because during that time, TikTok only allowed 30-second to 60-second videos. And that's when I realized like I have so much to share. And I've always believed that I can offer a unique perspective, or as you might call it, unpopular opinions. And yeah, at the same time, podcasting was also on the rise. I've always been curious about podcasting. How I really started was because I went to Changhok with my friends, and then they pointed out that one of the mic, the Blue Yeti mic that you see in my solo episodes, was on sale. And after much deliberation, I was like, okay, I've always wanted to start a podcast, right? If I don't start a podcast, Pun, I can use the mic to record my TikTok videos so that the audio would sound more like good. But at that time, I decided like, you know what, let's just try this out. I wasn't sure where it was gonna go. I tested out the mic. I bought the mic, and then I tested out at home. I used the voice memo app on my phone or on my Mac. I can't remember. And then I used the noise enhancer feature, and then the rest is history. I recorded my first episode called Let Me Introduce My Introverted Self. You can listen to it on Spotify. It's so raw, and I think I remember cursing as well in the episode, because I was just sounding off whatever was on my mind. I didn't have a proper like strategy as to how far I wanted it to go, like how I wanted to sound. But yeah, I just did it. Okay, the next one is more of a message. I'll read it to you. Assalamualaikum. What's good, Izzy? Welcome salam. Things are going great so far. Alhamdulillah. I pray that you are well and Allah bless your heart and soul. I pray that Allah bless your heart and soul too. Just to share things I've gone through, I used to love taking random videos and editing videos just for fun and post it on my IG, TikTok, and YouTube. At some point, I was so tired. I work 6 days a week, go back home, do my chores, and on the weekends, I usually have family events. Not every Sundays are my rest days. Sometimes bijalan, sometimes at the event. and then I go back home to rest. I don't have time, or I should say, I didn't manage my time on the things I love to do, so I stopped. Even though I watched a lot of inspiring videos, however, when I saw your post, a comeback Izzy Does It podcast, I'm like, wow, I cried and tell myself I need to come back to do what I love to do, and I thank you for that. I keep telling myself that I know it's not going to be easy, but I believe step by step, slow and steady, as long as I keep going, inshallah. Keep inspiring people, brother. All right, so first of all, this is a really, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, honestly, I'm touched, and I can definitely relate to you because I think part of the reason why I took that break too is because I went through burnt out. And I can understand where you're coming from when you say like you got tired. And I think I guess I relate to this so much, you know? And obviously I want to thank you so much for your kind words. Like I don't know if you actually really cried when you found out that I was making a comeback, but I think what I want to say is that just take it easy. Um, don't be too hard on yourself. I think your mental health obviously is more important. When you feel like you want to make videos, you can make videos whenever you want. As you mentioned here, you have work 6 days a week, and I guess you can consider making videos as like an outlet to release stress or to like inject some form of entertainment and creativity in your life. If you're not looking to make it into a career, I think it's still okay until you find the right momentum or the right kind of content that you want to create. So for now, it's like a non-committal relationship that you have with content creation, and I think that's okay unless you want to pursue it seriously. But again, you are right when you say that step by step and slow and steady, as long as you keep on going, you will find your voice and you will find the type of content that you want to do. And honestly, if you have some value to bring to your audiences, the right people will find your content and they will follow you regardless. And yeah, so all the best. Thank you so much for sharing your story and thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Okay, what's changed since the last run of Izzy Does It episodes? We're gonna maintain our main formula, which is inviting guests, releasing episodes every week, hopefully. If we do have a break, it will be minimal breaks just because right now we're trying to find our momentum. It's a new partnership still with New Wave Films and Kitani Creative. I would like to share the roles of what they will be contributing or doing for Izzy Does It. So Izzy Does It will retain most of its like creative direction and marketing efforts. New Wave Films will help with production. As you can see, this is part of production. The cameras, the crew, the amazing crew behind the scenes. Kitani Creative will help turn Izzy Does It into a sustainable business so that everyone can earn from this. I can earn a living from this so that I can continuously produce amazing episodes that you enjoy watching, and at the same time not having to take on too much or take too much breaks because I do have my own production company. So that's how I've been surviving, honestly. If not, I would be eating scrap. Even though I enjoy doing Izzy Does It a lot, right now it's not making anything, as you know, and I've always been transparent with you guys. But hopefully, going forward with this new partnership, things will change, and I'm very positive about it. So, inshallah, wish us luck. Also, a mini change is that I'm bringing solo episodes back, but yeah, this will act as an entree to the solo episodes because I was so uncomfortable recording this the first time that day. This is again the second time recording. I still feel a bit awkward talking alone. It's usually conversational, but yeah, I feel like with practice, inshallah, I'll get better. Okay, so okay, next. Can you share the reality of what it's like running a podcast in Brunei? So this question, I think I've answered in um previously, like because I share like the reality of it is that you don't make much from this. Even though I consider Izzy Does It to be the fastest growing podcast and the most talked about podcast in Brunei, it's still not enough for companies to be able to sponsor money or basically give money for us lah to produce more episodes. I think also it's really hard to find the right if there is a company that approached, and trust me when I say there are companies that approached me in the past. I think it's just that for me, our values have to align, and they have to really understand what Easy Does It is all about. It's not about promoting your company or organization punya agenda. And I get that it's part and parcel when it comes to wanting to use our ad space. But if you understand what we're really about is intentional storytelling and sharing real life experiences. And not all companies get that, you know. But hopefully going forward with the success of Usahawan Bakarih, companies will understand more of what we are able to offer and see the value in long form content, and will invest more in our capabilities, and that there is a demand for long form content. It's a niche for now, but the more the podcasting community grows, the more people see value in it. Yeah. So during my break, I just want to share with you that there are new podcasters that came up, right? So Shafi Halim's New Wave Media, they have Bahchritala and For the Wanita. And I think there are also like independent podcasters that I saw on TikTok as well. Unfortunately, there are ongoing podcasters that I used to not follow, but I used to like champion, but now they're also on breaks. So it's really not easy to start a podcast in Brunei if you don't make that as your main thing in your life. I guess it's okay. If you have a day job and then podcasting is just a side thing, you don't have to worry about making money. Then I guess it's okay. But for me, my mission is to make Easy Does It as my main thing apart from Tiala Studio, which is why I don't know. I give myself this pressure because I really enjoy doing what I do, and it's so fulfilling, especially when I receive messages from you guys from the Cozy Gang that like you guys resonate so much with the episodes apa semua, like especially with the guests, and my guests all have been like incredible and so brave in sharing their stories, being vulnerable. Like it's not easy. Like even me talking to the camera now with no one here, it's like I'm struggling. Honestly, I'm really struggling. What more a guest who's sitting across me, and sometimes they don't even know who I am. Like why is this stranger asking me personal questions? Like but yet like thankfully they open up and they're willing to share their stories, right? Apart from talking to me, they also know that they're being recorded. So it takes a lot of courage, and I always respect my guests when they agree to come on the show and when they are being authentic to themselves and they are being genuine. My audiences love that, and I know you like that. So next, can you do more personal vlogs and talk about yourself? I enjoyed your solo advice videos too. We want to get to know you more so us as an audience can connect with your content. And the next one, alang-alang, just teruskan. Yes, add in some fun and light-hearted content too, maybe some story times. Yes, as I mentioned before, I want to start doing solo episodes more, and I will have like a link on my bio for you to submit your stories for me to read and I guess share my experiences too, and share some advice if I were to be in the position of the person sending in that story. But yeah, vlogs, honestly, oh my god. So I went to Sydney a few months ago and I borrowed a camera from Apakan Fiza. She lent me her DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I really was aiming to vlog the entire trip, okay? It was a really fun trip because I went there with my friends. My friends ran the Sydney Marathon. I went there not for the marathon. I went there to shop, okay? And to just have an amazing holiday with my friends. But I only vlogged for like the first 3 days. After that, I gave up and started using my camera. It is not easy. I used to be able to vlog effortlessly. If you go to my channel, you'll see that I have like vlogs, my old videos lah. I used to vlog really like actively, but now I guess I just lost it. Even on TikTok, I used to do like a day in the life videos. Even now when I try to do it, it's like it doesn't feel natural anymore. I would like to see it as growth. Like I've grown out of like vlogging, but at the same time I do want to bring it back. So maybe I don't know, I might bring a cameraman or something to come with me when I go on holiday. But we'll see. But yes. you can expect that in the future. Never say never. Okay, that is all for the podcast stuff. Oh my god, that was a lot. Thank you so much for being interested in the podcasting community and my plans going forward with Izzy Does It. Um, and yeah, I'm glad that I got to finally announce officially about our partnership, about Izzy Does It's partnership with Kitani Creative and New Wave Films. So wish us luck, guys. Hopefully, amazing things will come out from this. I mean, inshallah. Now, let's proceed to work stuff. Okay, this work stuff section is very interesting, and only because I feel like a lot of people don't know what I do for a living, and it's good that you guys are curious because I would be curious too. Like, why is this guy like? What does he do actually? Right? Like, okay, to start off, I don't work in a 9 to 5. Although I do work from 9 to 5, but I don't work in a 9 to 5. I have my own production company called Tiala Studio. So what Tiala Studio is, it is an advocacy and intentional storytelling production. We've made videos for, well, you've seen the Yayasan video. Recently I also made a video with Bairo Kawalan Narcotic with Prince Martin, the PSA, about him saying no drugs. Yeah, so we have a project with Baiduri Finance now, hopefully coming out soon. That I'm excited for everyone to watch. I also made a series called Hasil Demi Hasil with AITI that will be shown on Izzy Does It. And I cannot wait for you guys to see that. So that part of my life, I do want to show more going forward because I feel like it comes, it's in tandem with Izzy Does It as well. It's kind of creating content too, but with Izzy Does It, you see me. But when it comes to me producing or directing content, it's me behind the scenes. But I think it's also a great awareness for everyone to see what actually happens when it comes to video production or film production. You probably will get to see me in a different light too because I'm not like this when I'm working. But yeah, basically that's what I do. And now we can get to the questions. What's your background education and the current position you have right now? My academic qualification, my highest academic qualification is O levels. I have O's, I think 3 O's kali. Tapi they said it only counts as 2 because I have BM, I have, oh no, 4 O's. So I have BM, surprisingly. I have Ugama, IRK, and wait, do I have Sastra ka? Actually, no, sorry, 3. Oh my god, it's been so long, guys. Come on, I'm 35 years old. I left high school like decades ago. So I have 3. Okay, I have Ugama, I have BM, and I have English. I don't know how I got Ugama. That doesn't make sense. But Alhamdulillah. But basically, yeah, 3 O's only. And then I decided to like so my 3 O's na cukup because my mom wanted me to go to Maktab Teknik, and it wasn't even enough for me to get accepted at Maktab Teknik. And then I just decided, you know what, I'm gonna take 1 year break and not do anything because I was done with high school. I went to repeat my O levels, but even then, like I just couldn't get anything. I wasn't interested in studying. Like I didn't understand why I was being forced to study the subjects that I wasn't interested in. I think if I took art seriously, maybe that could be something that I would excel in, but I don't know. At that time, I just went to school for fun. Like even when I went to repeat my um form 5, yeah, I didn't take it seriously. I was just going to the canteen, like I escaped from classes, did some, I don't know, like really like rebellious studenty like stuff. I don't know. But yeah, after that I started work lah. I started work and then yeah, would I continue my studies? I have thought about it, maybe something along the lines of journalism because of what I do, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing so bad for a O level. Yeah. So the current position I have right now is I'm self-employed. I own my own media company. I'm the executive producer of TLS Studio. But I mean, previously, if it's any worth, I did work in corporate before I decided to start my own production company. I didn't just end up here at Taros Taros. Like, I don't want you guys to think, well, Izzy didn't continue school. He didn't go to uni, didn't go to college. So I guess I can do the same thing, quit high school and start a business. No, 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 no. There's a long, winding journey that I went through to get to where I am. Again, I would like to remind you, I'm 35 years old, okay? O levels was when I was 18, 19. So, like, that's a decade worth of journey there. I went to different industries. I went to banking. My first job was in HSBC. And then I went to IT. And then I went to real estate. And then I went to health tech. Yeah. And then I went to creative and then video production. So, yeah, a lot of like soul searching when it comes to my career. I'm happy I ended up being here lah. But yeah. Next, how do you handle multiple projects at the same time? I'm assuming how do I handle multiple video projects at the same time? So when I get a project, well, jarang pulang. I hardly get like two projects at the same time. Although sometimes they do overlap, but I guess I have help. So what TLS Studio is all about is that I don't have staff. I hire freelance crew because I have a network of crew that are super talented and they also obviously need jobs, right? And I don't see the point in hiring in-house crew, but I do want at least two I do feel like I need a producer and an editor. But in terms of like lighting, camera work, I always can hire freelance people because there's so many of them in Brunei and they're so talented, right? So they also need jobs. And I feel like that's one way of giving back to the community by leveraging my network that I've accumulated over the years. Also, thanks to Izzy Does It, I've been blessed with like very interesting projects. So, in a way, I'm using my network to get projects and then also give back to the community by hiring the freelancers. That way, I can handle multiple projects because I can hire two different producers for different projects, right? Oh, the next one is a hard question. Okay, I've been thinking about this and I still don't have like a clear answer. But the question is, if you could name five local people in the same industry as you that you respect and admire, who would they be? I respect and admire everyone in the industry that I'm in, and that is the creative and film industry. But when you ask me to name five local people, I'm assuming it's like the top five people that I respect and admire. I'm assuming, right? Because I wouldn't say like I don't. I don't know. It doesn't mean that I think I'm better than everyone because I don't think I'm better than everyone. Everyone has their own specialty, their own talent, their individuality. But it's like I guess maybe because I have this thing where I don't put people on the pedestal. I either see them as equals or I see them as like individuals separate to me. Yeah. Because I don't know. I mean like yeah, that's just how I view people. One name does come to mind, tapi she's not in the same industry. Although she is in the creative arts, I guess. But if I have to really name one, I'm sorry I can't name you guys five names, but if I have to name one, the closest would be Dr. Katrina Haji Muhammad Daud. Yeah, so I read two out of three her books in total. One is called The Fisherman's King, and the other one is The Witch Doctor's Daughter. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm. I guess you can say also like a huge fan of hers, and I really hope that she keeps writing. So Atu Sija, that's the only name that I can think of right now. Again, I want to iterate that there are so many people in the same industry as I am, and even like in the social media industry, like I respect and admire, especially for their work ethics and what they've accomplished. It's kind of insane. Okay, next question. Do you feel that the art scene is underappreciated by the wider Brunei community? It feels that everyone wants to be inspired by the arts, but feels like no one wants to actually pay for it in order to be sustainable. I just feel like we are so used to having free stuff that it feels weird having to pay for content, especially local stuff. You're willing to pay Netflix for $24 a month, but when progressive media was around, $5 were is hard to fork out. Understandably so. Netflix has thousands and thousands of catalog of movies, series that you can choose from. Brunei, not only it's limited, you also kind of question the quality. So I do understand where everyone's coming from. I can't even bring myself to subscribe $5, even though I want to support the industry, right? But I also have to support myself. I guess it all comes down to trust. If the people consuming your content or appreciates your art trust you, I do believe that they will pay for it. There are so many local businesses that Bruneians support, like macam knitting, crocheting, and like I don't know, turfing bar thing. People do go and make their own carpets, I guess. So macam that considers as art, and it's also like people do pay for that too. I think it's just a matter of like in general, I think it's hard to generalize lah. Macam when you say whether I feel like the art scene is underappreciated by the Brunei community, yes and no. In my case, how would you feel if I start charging you $1 to watch an episode of Izzy Does It? Just imagine if I get 5K views, that's $5,000. But would you pay if I start charging $1 or 150? I think you'll be like, huh? Si Izzy Does It kan mo charge ringgit ba? Pelong ko bali na si Katok kali. I don't know, right? So it's really like it's a really complicated situation, and I don't want to believe that the Brunei community do not appreciate the arts. I think they do, and I think with trust and time, they will eventually support it. And I know you understand, and by supporting it, like paying for it, right, for it to be sustainable. Yeah, I think also like Brunei in general, the goal, like the arts and culture in Brunei, is not part of the bigger plan. Even for like Wawasan 2035, right? Which is why it's never been like a focus to improve, to nurture, to flourish the industry. And there are a lot of like support verbally, and I guess no one knows where to start. And I feel like every time they hire someone to champion the arts industry or the creative industry, is always the wrong person. When that person fails, they deem like the entire industry as a failure, not as that one person punya failure. So I don't know, that's just from my personal observation. But I don't know, man. I'm getting old. I don't know if I really want to fight for this. For me, I'm just gonna focus on Easy Does It and create as much awareness as I can, support as many people as I can, and hopefully in time, like people will start to see the value in it. Yeah, I think value is very important when you produce any kind of art or content. So we shall see. We shall see. Don't be surprised if one day I say, "Hey guys, in order to watch this episode, you have to pay $1." I don't know. We'll see. Okay, next project, you Appa. Okay, so I do have projects that are done but have yet to be released. One is a web series for Baiduri Finance. Um, I'm excited for everyone to watch that because I directed it. Aziz Daniel wrote it, and the crew is amazing. I love the story. It's a sort of like a rom com kind of vibe. Yeah, really excited for it. The next one is also something that I'm super hyped about. It's called Hustle Demi Hustle. It's a 3 episode series in collaboration with AITI, punya pitch and produce. Um, I said this earlier in the beginning. I'm gonna say it now. It will be released on Easy Does It, maybe in December or maybe in January. Depends. We have to plan for the marketing and all that. But Hustle Demi Hustle, I think why I it's like my second baby. My first baby was I Want to Be Famous. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it on some platform. But Hustle Demi Hustle will be fully mine. Executive produced by me, directed by me, written by me, and also Akil Ahmad. And it is the most creatively fulfilling project I've ever done. We got to experiment with a lot of different things. The story in itself is, I wouldn't say simple, but I think it would be very relatable to a lot of people in the industry. So I don't want to give away too much, but you can decipher it for yourself. What does hustle demi hustle mean? Next question. Got low pay but happy or high pay but unhappy? Look, guys, for me, your happiness is more important than anything. So if you have a low pay but you're quite happy with your life, go for that one. I mean, I personally would go for that one. Because if you earn a lot of money but you're unhappy, what's the point? What's the point to life? Some people might disagree because, even though I don't work a 9 to 5, I'm not opposed to people who choose to work a 9 to 5 because they understand that, they just want to earn a living. They want to work from Monday to Friday or Saturday, earn a salary at the end of the month, and then use that money to treat themselves, their family, and then go on holiday. It's completely okay. I feel like a lot of people glamorize the hustle life or like owning your own business too much. It's not for everyone. Everyone is free to decide on what they want to do. What's most important is that you're happy with your decision. But I do understand that sometimes, because I actually, most of my friends work in corporate, right? So they work 9 to 5, and they do sometimes, actually, they do talk about work, and they vent out. But yeah, it really depends on you. But for me, I will always prioritize my own happiness, even though like my pay is not a lot. Okay, next. Okay, so that's done. The work related questions are done. Now we move on to personal life stuff, which is very, very interesting. All right. Okay. Someone asks, are you still active in the running community? Yes, I'm very much active in the running community. Running is part of my life now. It changed my life, if I'm being honest. A huge chunk of what I've been doing since I took the break is that I've prioritized my health. And by prioritizing my health, I mean that I've taken up running. It was not easy in the beginning. It was honestly very difficult. And how I got into running was because all my friends were running, and they repeatedly tried to get me to join their runs. They've started a running community called the Weekend Pacers, and honestly, it's like the most amazing thing that they've created. I have so much respect for them because they conduct runs every single Sunday during BKC, and I'm very proud of them on the community that they've built. But yeah, I would like to credit Weekend Pacers for contributing a lot to my running journey. Also, my friends too, because they have so much patience. They ran with me, even like with my pace at that time was very slow, even though they can run much faster. They also like encouraged me to just be consistent. They gave me tips and tricks on how to run properly. So yeah, now I've come to love running. I enjoy it. I actually schedule my day around running. I wasn't about to say like everyone should go out and run. No, I mean you can take up whatever you want to take up. I'm just saying like health is wealth. It's very important. I even tell my crew recently like sometimes when you have to work all nighter. You don't get sleep sometimes, and it can be detrimental to your health. Not right now, but in the long run. Which is why I encourage them to just take up any activity to balance out their work life. When you're still young, health is so important. Like right now, you may think like it's okay, but when you're old, that's when it will finally catch up to you. So yeah, I'm glad that my friends are running and they live a healthy lifestyle, which obviously have a huge influence on me. That was a long answer, but yes, I'm still active in the running community. You will see me on Sunday with the Weekend Pacers. The next two questions. I'm gonna give one word answer, and you can decide which one's the answer to which question. Okay? So the first one is, sa taon hilang ada girlfriend sudah ka? Next question, do you even lift, bro? So the answer is yes and no, and you guys can decide which answer is yes and which answer is no. Actually, I receive a lot of like questions asking about my relationship status, but obviously I'm not going to repeat all of them, right? So I just compile them into one. To me, it's funny. I don't take questions about my relationship seriously, But I would like to just let you know now, in case I do another Q&A. I'm not sure if I will even disclose or share. If I do, okay, right now I'm just gonna say it. I'm not seeing anybody. But if I do end up seeing someone, I don't know if I'm gonna actually disclose it. I think that's part of something that I would like to keep private to myself because I share a lot, and I think it's not nice to overshare, Jua. And when you're in a intimate relationship, I don't know if it's good to share that with everybody because you also want to have something sacred just between the two of you. Like even with like friendships, I'm a bit wary when it comes to like talking about friendships in general. I'm okay with, but sometimes now sharing like personal details, like I'm a bit scared because I don't know, like I have a very tight knit circle of people that I keep close to my heart. So I naturally I'm protective of them. Hence why I don't really like, share a lot about them. I don't know, we'll see. I mean if they say okay, then I guess it's okay. But for now, those are the things that I will probably talk less about. But yes, thank you for being curious. I guess you got your answer. But do I lift? Yes, I do lift. I'm starting back because I lost so much weight thanks to running. But now I feel like I'm just like skin and bones. So I do need some bulging muscles to make me look like I'm healthy. Okay, a random question. What's your favorite Sesame Street character or characters? I think Snuffleupagus is cute. I think Big Bird is cute. Elmo is cute. So yeah, I guess those three are my favorite characters from Sesame Street. Next one. What is your MBTI? Okay, I actually had to ask ChatGPT this because I do not want to do the whole questionnaire thing to find out what I am. I did take the test, the personality test a while back, but I remember like it's not set in stone. Like it depends on where you are in your life at that time. Then you'll get a certain like a either INFP, and then if you take it like another different time of your life, you'll get EN something something, right? So currently, according to ChatGPT, because I asked ChatGPT, according to our interactions, what MBTI personality do you think I am? And after a couple of back and forth, because it asked me a couple of questions just to make sure, right? So I am an INFJ. The INFJ personality type, known as the advocate or idealist, is often recognized for its blend of insight, compassion, and determination. INFJs are introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. So the first letters lah of intuitive, feeling, and judging. So IN, intuitive, F, feeling, J, judging. Meaning they are deeply introspective, empathetic, and have a strong sense of purpose. And then it gave me the breakdown. So one, visionary and purpose driven. Two, deep introspection and analysis. This is just in case you're curious about what INFJs are. Okay. So the second one is deep introspection and analysis. Yeah, I guess we are deep people. I am a deep person. And I tend to analyze and sometimes over analyze interactions and conversations. I guess which is why podcasting is such a perfect occupation for me, right? So number three, guided by values and ideals. Number four, empathetic and people focused. Number five, long-term focus and strategic thinking. INFJs often think in terms of the bigger picture and long-term impact, which is true. Lastly, seeking authentic, deep connections. INFJs value close, meaningful relationships over casual or superficial interactions. This is so true, by the way. I think I've said so many times that I hate small talk. Yeah. So the way I see this is like, it's such a contradicting behavior. Like I seek like deep and authentic like connections, right? But at the same time, I'm so introverted to the point where I don't even make an effort to speak to new people. A friend described me as a cat. Like I don't approach people. I wait for people to approach me. Because aku jual mahal and I don't know. I guess it depends on the situations too. Like I have approached people before, especially in like work situations. Actually, mostly in work situations or when I feel like I am obliged to approach people. Sometimes just to kill the awkwardness in the room, I feel like I have to say something to someone. Yeah, right now I'm trying my best to get out of my comfort zone, meet new people, talk to new people, open up, and who knows? We shall see. That's my MBTI and INFJ. What is the best cafe or coffee place in Brunei in your opinion? Or right now, my favorite go to for matcha is earthy, but when it comes to coffee in general, I make my own coffee at home. It's like instant coffee, but it's really good. I call it the Izzy Mocha Special. Roasted Sip is a close contender because I like their gelate. Oh my god, their gelate and their toffee latte is my favorite, and their matcha is also good. I forgot what it's called. It's the berry thing. Yeah. But I mean, Porsche is also good. There's also Sauce Cafe. There's so many cafe places, and I'm not really fussy when it comes to coffee. So I'm not the best person to ask this. But for matcha, earthy is the number one currently. Okay, so the last question. I saved this the last because this will be the entry point to my storytelling episodes in the coming future, because this is kind of like a deep question, and so I just want to tackle this, and I don't know if it's gonna make it to the final cut, but okay, here goes nothing. This will be the final question, okay, before I update on what's been happening, other things that have been happening in my life. Okay, so what's something that you regret in the past but has shaped you to the person you are today? I take this question seriously because it does sound serious, and because I went back and forth. I even asked my friend if I should share this with everybody, right? And I do feel like by sharing this, it may provide insight or some value. Some of you might find it relatable too. But I want to preface by saying that by me sharing this, I hope you don't focus on the who and focus more on the lessons that you can learn from my experience, right? So, a few years ago, I was in a toxic friendship. Um, what I mean by toxic friendship is that we were very unhealthy for each other. And when people say, whatever happened in the past, you shouldn't regret it. And a lot of people say, oh, I don't regret whatever happened in the past, right? But for me, whenever I look back at this period of my life, I cannot help but feel regret still. But at the same time, I'm also able to look forward and appreciate that it happened because I've grown so much as a person as a result of that experience. Okay? To give you again context, but I hope you won't dig too much into it, as in like you don't have to know who, but the whole experience is that I think I was lost. And for me, I am the type of person who cares too much. And I think it's me projecting what I lacked in my childhood, right? I've always have this like thinking like I want to be the person that I wish I had when I was little or when I was growing up. And while I should be that person for me, I think I became that person for someone else. I Long story short, I gave myself away because I tried to be there for this person. And it became so toxic that I started to become manipulative. And we just weren't good for each other because I think it was like a really, I don't know, it was a dark point in my life. I can't even articulate or get into details because I'm so worried that I don't want to bring up, because okay, fast forward, basically we're both now in a healthier place. We're not in talking terms, but we're both like really good in life now. So I'm worried that by sharing this story in so much detail, I don't want to open up like a can of worms and like start to bring up old feelings, and I don't want that person to think like I'm trying to paint them in a bad light. But I was in the wrong too. I contributed to that friendship, that toxic friendship, as much as the person did. So, but as a result of that, I I've started to become more like guarded, which is why Sudah tahu ako ni ambong, bikin ambong lagi because I couldn't open up to people that easily. I have trust issues now. When it comes to meeting people, I question everyone's intentions. When people are too friendly with me, I'm like, why are you too friendly with me? What do you want from me? When I sense that people are not making an effort to me, I'm like, okay, you're lost. Bye. Some people can see that as a good thing, but it's like a double-edged sword. You know, sometimes I do feel like I miss out on genuine friendships because I am not trusting and I'm unable to lower my guard down. And it's so easy for someone to break my trust. And it's hard for me to give second chances or third chances. So that's like that experience that I regret shaped me into who I am today. And I'm continuously like a work in progress, right? There's so much trauma or like negative experiences that I've experienced that I need to heal from. And I think that's also like the beautiful part. As long as we're self aware and we constantly choose to grow and better ourselves, I think I guess it's okay. Okay, this is a really bad story time. I don't know, maybe it's just maybe like I'm still so scared of sharing too much. I don't know. I'm not even sure if this is gonna make it to the final cut, like I said. But the huge lesson that I learned was, or the bulk of the regret was me letting myself go. And for me to focus on that one particular person, I didn't lose anybody, but I forgot about the people who care about me. Yeah, so the huge lesson is to always prioritize yourself first and to always love yourself, have some self respect, and recognize your own value and your worth. At the time, it may seem like the only reason why I held on to that friendship is because I didn't want to lose that friend, right? But sometimes you're going to notice the red flags. And if a relationship, whether it be platonic or relationship, makes you into a bad person, then that friendship or that relationship is not good for you. But if it turns you into a better person, then obviously it's good for you, right? So, but I can understand when people are in that situation, they won't notice it. I mean, I didn't notice it until much later on when I finally decided like enough is enough. Like we can't be friends anymore. Yeah, itulah. Honestly, this is not as easy as I thought as it would be. But thank you so much if you've listened this far. Basically, those are some of the updates that I can share. I've mentioned about running. It's become a big part of my life now. I've talked about my media company, Tela Studio, and the projects that I am doing or have done. So you know what I do apart from this podcast. Um, I also updated everyone about this new partnership that I have with New Way Films and Kitani Creative. Yeah, I think that's all that I have to say. If you would like for me to elaborate more on any of the things that I've shared, do let me know. I will try my best to improve my articulation and my eloquence when it comes to speaking alone. That's it. If you want me to stop doing solo episodes, let me know too. But if you want more, feel free to let me know. Again, open for feedback, and I shall see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. Assalamualaikum. Bye.